Greetings, my friends. Welcome to the next episode of Mint Mob. Jason here, joined by my buddy and partner, Alex, inside the Goodfellas project. And we're going to go into some of the things on in the market today. Obviously, a lot was happening this past weekend. We had RuneStones drop. We had a lot of stuff happening inside the Goodfellas NFT Discord and project. Let's see, we gave away a artwork bonus to those who've collected the first three Artist Incubator pieces. We've got three more Artist Incubator pieces to mint, plus another bonus coming up after that, maybe two. And we've got, what else do we got? We had some bosses. We had some ordinal holders pick up some runestone drops and convert that to cash, and I happen to be one of those. So lots of things happening this week, man. How about yourself? What are you seeing over in Germany? What's happening out your way?
Hello everybody. First of all, welcome to the new episode. And yeah, my first point always is the look on the crypto markets. And yeah, again, we see a lot of red, but we have Solana out there which is doing great. I think it was up to 210 or even higher. Now it like went down with the correction a bit to 200, but you and I, we've talked about it already. Like it's most likely because of all the meme coins out there, which are like making insane profits for people, but usually in the end go to zero. And yeah, I've seen a lot of pre-sales today on Solana meme coins, and it's crazy that people actually are able to collect millions and millions of dollars. There was like one project today where a guy actually collected like 10 million bucks, and he accidentally sent everything to a burner wallet, like the whole allocation of the pre-sale funds.
Ouch.
And then there was another guy called Dexter, I think, and he collected like $30 million and was basically telling people, "Hey, it's capped now. Stop sending money to this wallet." And people just kept sending, and he said like everything above 30 million, like I'm going to refund it to the people. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy because I mean we've seen so many projects go down, especially meme coins. They do not have any utility. I still wonder why people still trust in these. And yeah, Jason, I know you're not a big fan of these as well. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, honestly, if you're a trader and this is something you're paying attention to and you know how to dance in and out of the markets, hey, go for it. Knock yourself out, make as much money as you can make. Because ultimately, when people get burned, that's how they learn. So, or at least we hope so. But yeah, I mean, it encourages short term thinking, which is not really where you want to be with your wealth. And when you're talking about real money being spent, I want to make sure that I'm in a place where I know I can get my money back out. So my whole thing is around encouraging bad behavior. And in the investing world, some of the worst behavior is short-term thinking because it causes you to make bad decisions in the moment based on greed or fear or a combination of the two. And the next thing you know, you get screwed. So, the meme coin thing, I believe, is a bubble within the context of crypto that will ultimately go away. People talk about crypto being a bubble, and I don't think that it is. I don't think it. I think we've passed the point of that being a possibility, especially for the established ones like Bitcoin or Ethereum or even Solana now. But inside that market, there are lots of little bubbles. Whether it's the next fake hype NFT project or the fake hype meme coin or the meme coin hype that doesn't really have any ties to anything. Like for example, the one that caught my attention this past week was Dog with Hat. I don't know if you saw this meme coin on Solana, but I had a few airdrop
Mm.
to me and I immediately converted it to like USDC or something real. And the logo for this meme coin actually sold on auction for 1,210 ETH. So something like $4 million, I think it sold for over $4 million. Just the logo, like someone ended up purchasing this in an auction for 4 million plus dollars, which to me is just absolutely insane. But at the end of the day, if someone has 1,200 ETH that they want to burn on something like that, I think a big part of that is just you want to own a part of history. Right now we're making history, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. But in terms of, the average person who doesn't have $4 million to stuff their pillowcases with or burn in the fireplace, These people don't need to be buying meme coins, right? This needs to be reserved for people who know what they're doing and who can afford losses. So, that's my hot take on meme coins in a nutshell.
Yeah, I actually agree with everything you said. It's still interesting to see if meme coins will exist forever. I mean, you mentioned runes. We all got gifted, like all the OG ordinal holders got gifted with a rune stone, and I was definitely surprised when I saw it on Magic Eden, and when we got it, I think it was worth $1,000, something like that. And yeah, prices went up pretty big. I think almost up to 0.045 Sol. They corrected a little bit now. I know you sold pretty quick because you, I think you, yeah, prefer holding Bitcoin and yeah, profit from that in the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna sleep on something like that because, if you wait 15 minutes, it could be zero. I mean, so the chances of it going up or going down are basically equal, and there's no way of knowing why or which. So yeah, I sold immediately. I had two wallets get hit, so I sold both of them, and I ended up getting like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 grand, 3 grand, I think, around 3 grand, 1,400, 1,500, I think, for one for each wallet. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy with what I got, and I'd rather hold the Bitcoin because I know it's gonna double or triple. And so the people who are waiting for it to triple now, like that short term thinking, it's got to triple now. They're running the risk of it not getting a bid. And on Bitcoin, that's dangerous because remember, like when you put the bid in on Magic Eden or on Gamma or wherever you're buying your ordinal, it's going to take 10 minutes on average to, get in the next block. And if you miss that block and it sits there for the next block or for the next block or what have you, you run the risk of actually not completing that transaction. So rather than run the risk of the transaction failing or not going through and all this time passing while people are deciding if they really want to, be a Bitcoin meme coiner or not, I'd just rather take it and turn it into Bitcoin and wait.
Yeah, I personally haven't really decided on that because I haven't really thought a lot about it. But what I gotta say is that the founder, that Leonidas guy, is definitely different to the other founders of meme coins. He's pretty open about what he does. He always tells people that it was like the it was like a very fair launch. I mean, they didn't have a pre-sale. They did not like favor whales. They just like spread the rune stones equally to everyone holding at least three ordinals. So yeah, he's actually telling people that they are free to sell. That like he actually gifted people I think he wrote like a MacBook or an iPhone or anything like that, and that they are most likely going to fail. And yeah, that's a pretty good attitude, I think. Like he doesn't want people to expect too much from what's going to happen because he cannot promise anything. As you mentioned, meme coins or any coins like that can go to zero in a couple minutes. There just need to be like bad news or anything. So yeah, in the end it was probably the wiser decision that you made. But of course there are people who are going to profit from taking the risk and maybe even triple or like more than money, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of like the whole well, there's been a lot of experiments, psychological experiments on this, what you get versus what you give stuff, like if you, especially when it comes to money, like if you are in an office, for example, and you work for the same company and, you're doing the same job as someone else, but they're making more money than you, even though you were perfectly happy with the money you were making before you found out they were making more money than you, now you're unhappy. It's like, oh, well, I'm not making as much as them, even though you never had a problem with it before you found out someone else made more money. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like someone's giving you a gift, hey, if it's a 13, 14, $1,500 gift, I think today it's like $3,000. I think the last time I looked at it, in US dollars. If someone's going to give you a gift, just take it and smile, right? And be grateful. I mean, at the end of the day, like if I don't care if someone makes 10 grand on their runestone airdrop, good for you, congratulations. If you're willing to risk it, go for it. But for me, I'm just like, well, I'm turning this into something real. And in my mind, that's Bitcoin. And I'd rather sit on that and just watch it go up for the rest of the year than worry about if it's going to go down, you know?
Totally understandable and logical as well, but I definitely do know. I mean, we are all human, and I know that there are people out there who probably sold and are pretty mad about it right now, because people do not have the same, like, they do not look at it like you do, because you said it, you're grateful for what you got, and you do not compare yourself to anyone else. So you just got a gift, you take it, you're happy about it, and this is it. While other people are definitely going to be like, okay, I think I read about one guy in the Discord who said like, oh damn, I faded it at, I don't know, zero point zero 0.01 Bitcoin or something. Um, and yeah, that's what people do in this space. They always try to. It's like, when you are having a bull run and you hold a lot of coins and everything, like you're having a lot of profits and everything, and everyone still tries to catch the all-time high. And when it goes down or up, or you sell too early or too late, you still feel bad about it, although you made a lot of money. And that's
Hmm.
probably the same thing.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Human psychology is real and it hasn't changed for, tens of thousands of years and it's not going to change anytime soon. So, the reality of the fear, like the FOMO, right? The fear of missing that bigger gain, someone else is, going to time it right. I mean, that's real. And, I can speak from experience, because I told you on the last spaces, I think, when Solana was running, I think it ran up to like 185 or 190 last week. I told you I sold like a portion of my Solana and that I was going to buy it back when it crashes. Well, since I sold it, it's gone to 200 and change and it's pulled back a little bit. But nothing goes up. I mean, the reality is nothing goes up 100% in a month and stays there. It just doesn't happen. So I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait and I'm going to watch it come back down to 170 or 160 or 150. And then I'm going to redeploy those funds. And that might take a week or two. I'm just going to wait for that to happen, right? I'm not worried about the fact that someone else might time it the top exactly perfect and sell at 210, right? Who cares? Like if I can get within the top 10 or 20% of the top or buy within the bottom, 10 to 20% of the bottom, then, you're doing really well. Like if you can do that, I mean, you're doing really well in my opinion, because again, no one has a crystal ball.
Yeah, I remember that you said that in the last space, right? That's when I thought like, okay, he might have sold a bit of his Solana now, and then I saw it running higher and higher and higher, and yeah, you're right about that. I mean, you cannot catch the high all the time, and I mean, it's correcting right now. If it goes to, I don't know, 180 now, you're probably good with that, um, and yeah, I mean, that whole game of crypto is all about timing, like be like, have a good entry, have a good exit, like try to like do not miss opportunities and everything. And you mentioned FOMO and stuff, and it's all about that. And I see a lot of people relying on making good decisions, and having bad mood if they like make bad decisions and everything, and that is pr- well, not a good thing. And I feel like your attitude is definitely healthier regarding that.
It's just because I've been burned, right? Like a lot of people in this market, this is their first exposure to being burned, But, I was running, tens of thousands of dollars of my own money back in like 2007, 2008 when the real estate market crashed and the banking sector was, basically in trouble and Bear Stearns got shut down, like these big investment banks. There's this global financial crisis. I watched my portfolio go to nothing. And, I thought I was smart because I was making money, trading stocks and this and that and the other thing. But then when you get burned, you realize, okay, well, I can sit here and I can watch this chart all day long and, maybe make a percent or two after fees, or I can actually just look at the larger trend and hold for a longer period of time and maybe get burned a lot less. And the truth is, like, if during that period of time, what I learned was everybody who was really paying attention to the market waited for it to crash. They were just begging for it to crash. They were hoping it would crash because they had all this cash on the sideline that they were just waiting to throw at all these discounted stocks. And that only happens a few times in your life, right? And so, after learning that, And then taking those lumps and losing some money and this and that and the other thing, you kind of realize, okay, well, it's not really good to get emotional about this stuff. It's just better to be a little bit more, stoic about it, and let's be a little more calm, and let's be a little more, sort of even keel, rather than trying to capture every bit of energy and ounce of gain or loss out of the market. Let's just, hey, what's the larger trend? Well, the banking sector is crashing, for example, in this case, right? Chances are that's going to move everything lower. Why don't I just wait instead of buying now, right? And then, when it comes around again, you see it again, and you make money, right? So when I watched the stock market crash, then the real estate market decided to crash, and I'm like, okay, well, I learned my lesson. Excuse me, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to buy a rental property until the market's, fully crashed. And then I was able to buy a rental property for like 40 grand. Like, okay, this is cool. So now that property's worth, 200 grand, right? Plus it pays me a monthly dividend in form of rent. So like, if you're just patient and you watch trends, you can get the best and you can squeeze the most out of the markets. But if everything has to happen now because your emotional state is not allowing you to rest or not allowing you to think past the moment, you're always going to get fucked in the long run because you're leaving too much on the table.
I'm not really sure to like which crash you are referring back in 2000. Was it like the Lehman Brothers thing? I'm not sure. I was too young. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lehman
yeah.
Brothers. Yeah, Lehman Brothers failed, if you remember.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I got that right. But as you said, like as you described, I mean, you can definitely learn from these things. Like you get experience. I think when FTX crashed, it was a similar situation in the crypto market when everyone felt like, okay, we are going down here, and you was the one like going in and then buying a bunch of Solana and everything. And there, that's definitely good to have that kind of experience.
Yeah, because you realize everything's temporary. I mean, that's the thing. When Bear Stearns, or I'm sorry, I keep saying Bear Stearns, but when Lehman Brothers failed in 2008, you literally had financial advisors jumping out of windows because they had lost fortunes for their clients, right? There were people who committed suicide, right? Because they thought their life was over. And, I said that's, I think, in a previous podcast where someone who I think was in the D Gods community, or, he had spent a bunch of money on NFTs. I can't remember which particular project or projects it was, but he posted a photo of himself in a bathtub with his wrists bleeding, right? Now, I don't know if that's fake or not. I mean, this person's probably anonymous, and who knows? Maybe it's a cry for help. But at the end of the day, he's basically saying, I gave my life to crypto. I put all my money in there, and nobody really cares about me, and this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're anonymous, so no one even knows who you are. And second of all, everything is temporary. So maybe we shouldn't start thinking about suicide just yet, right? So when you think about that and you look at, and I saw someone else, like we picked up a collection of NFTs from a guy named Nick that's gonna, that's ultimately gonna be part of our collection. He posted the other day. He's like, I put 100,000, or what did he say? I could have had $100,000 or $200,000 in assets today, but I bought NFTs and now I have nothing, right? Okay, well, I mean, I get that opinion, but that's not NFT's fault. That's not the market's fault. That's your fault for making bad decisions. But again, this is temporary. Some money can be made back. It's going to take some time to overcome it all, but it can be made back, right? So when I see people in these desperate situations, my heart goes out to them, and I just want to, kind of like reach out and say, hey, you know what? It's tough right now. It sucks right now, or hey, it's good right now. Everything's awesome right now. Just wait. It's going to change. It's going to shift, right? If it sucks today, it could be better tomorrow. If it's great today, it could suck tomorrow, right? Like, what are your goals, and how does your behavior fit within your goals? Just operate within that paradigm, and everything will be all right if you're patient enough.
Yeah, I think I've read similar stuff from people when the whole Luna crash happened back then. I think it was, when was it actually? 2022? I'm not sure. Or was it last year? but it went to zero. And I think we had a pretty good example of Maria, our artist incubator artist, who actually held most of her money, crypto money, in Luna's stable coin, and she lost it all. And yeah, she made it back. Like, she decided to work even harder and try to make it back. And I read from so many people who were like so desperate back then on Twitter, saying like, hey, I lost my life savings and everything on that Luna crash. And you still have to come back, and you still have to stand up and like rise again and try to, yeah, try to make it back. And yeah, I think you described it pretty nicely. That nothing is like, nothing can be, or nothing is destined to be successful, like no crypto coin, except of Bitcoin, of course. But yeah, we will
Fingers
see where
crossed,
it
right?
goes. I'm
Fingers
very
crossed. Yeah.
yeah, I'm very curious to see. I wish I'd have like a little time machine to see where the markets are in like 10 years from now. um but yeah, we can just like use the information that we have and try to work with that and make decisions based on that, right?
100%, man. 100%. And I mean, this is, one of those topics that we keep coming back to. It's all related to time horizon. And if the modern world encourages everyone to have a high time preference, meaning everything has to happen now. I want it now. Amazon's going to deliver tomorrow, or they're going to drop my package in my backyard with a drone in 5 minutes. Like, it's got to happen now, 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 now. I have no patience, right? And this is why you see poor health outcomes. This is why you see people struggling with depression, because they want everything now. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you want to have good health or good wealth, hey, you know what? You got to go to the gym. You got to eat good. You got to eat well. You got to take care of your body. If you want to have a healthy financial situation, you got to put some money away. You can't you can't bet everything on black, and then when red comes up, think that the world is going to be over, right? No, you got to have some powder dry. You got to have some cash ready to go. And just got to realize you're human. You're going to make some mistakes, but if you could just be patient and like inject a little bit of foresight into what you're doing, then you can see, like Leonidas was saying in his post, right? This is the most honest meme coin drop in history, because we're telling you, hey, it's not tied to anything. There's no utility. There's no project. There's no fucking people. This is just an experiment that we're doing. And, hey, Ethereum dropped hundreds of millions of dollars to themselves. It's time for Bitcoiners to do the same thing. And that's kind of the logic, right? So that's all there is there. So if I'm betting, on RuneStones, hey, he's already told me that my time horizon on this should not be very long. He's already told me that, right? So this is one of those times where the cat's out of the bag, and I can sit here and I can go, okay, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to take profits now, because tomorrow I don't have to worry about it. And the next day I don't have to worry about it. I just want to buy Bitcoin and watch it go up. And that's pretty much it. So if we can just escape this trap of everything has to happen now, you know, and start substituting this idea that, hey, you know what, for my personal financial goals, this is what I want to create. And then separate that from like enjoying art or enjoying an NFT or being part of a project. Right? They're all different things. And wherever you are in the moment, if you're making decisions based on no information that you have to have happen right now, you're going to lose. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, but what I just wanted to add, when you mentioned what Leonidas like wrote on X, we still have to say that, I mean, psychologically, it's like a pretty popular move to set the bar very low, like for people not to have too like too big expectations of what's coming. So I don't feel like that's like the final, or the good move that everyone should try to do, because you also see NFT projects who claim like, hey, we do not have a roadmap, it's just about vibing, and do not expect much from us. And like, you still have to set it in like in the context of what the project actually wants to do, because I feel like Leonidas does want to do big things, but like telling people, and like telling people prior to the the drop of the meme coin and everything, like, hey, do not have big expectations, is like putting some like taking pressure off him, you know?
No, 100%. I mean, there's what's a good way of describing it? Like there's modesty and there's false modesty, right? Like there are people who want to say things so that they can position themselves not to be hurt by any outcome, right? And that's smart in some senses. But then there's also people who say things to position themselves not to get hurt in certain outcomes because they're emotionally weak. They're mentally weak and they can't handle it if they, are faced with a difficulty. And so, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he might be someone who does that. But I think when I look at his history, like he's been hosting the Ordinal Show for quite some time. He's very invested in the Bitcoin community. I think what he's doing, he's just saying, like, from a place of honesty, like, hey, you know what? This isn't really what Bitcoin is for, but this is something that we're going to take advantage of and have a little fun with because it's possible. And I think he's just being honest about that rather than being falsely modest and saying, oh, this might fail, blah, blah, blah. Don't say bad things about me. It's kind of a different mentality, I think.
Yeah, and it's like it feels like it's almost refreshing, like seeing someone like him in the space and not making like big promises and everything. And yeah, I'm not sure. Like maybe I'm even like selling my runestone in the near future as well. But I'm still like looking forward to see what he does actually. And yeah, curious to find out. But yeah, enough from crypto. I think we can move to our own little project, the Goodfellas. We've had a great drop last week, and we will have one on Wednesday. So the piece, I think I sneak peeked a bit on X today. It's actually having two eye colors, which is definitely cool. I love the hair from it, and I think the community is going to love it. What do you think?
Yeah, this is definitely a cool piece. I mean, aside from the fact that I was a huge fan of the last piece just because it was like super clean, it was something that, if I were drawing in that style that I could see myself creating. But yeah, like these pieces with the super detailed like hair and eyes and like the skin tones. Like I love the fact that there's just so much effort and energy that went into creating something that is beautiful and in a way complex, but when you look at it from, a little from a short distance, it looks very simple. And then when you look at it closely, you see the complexities and you see the beauty and you see the subtlety, kind of like the tiny little tattoos that Maria put on some of her other pieces. Like when you look closely, you see what she's trying to say and what she wants to, get across in the artwork. And I feel like that's a huge part of, just really like vibing with the artist and understanding what they're all about and what they wanted to create. And it makes the piece more personal. So I'm loving them. And, we've got, like, I think I said at the top of the podcast, we've got piece 5, 6, and 7 dropping. And then again, for those of you guys who are collecting all 7, we already have a bonus number 8 that's coming your way. And I'm possibly working on a bonus number 9. I don't want to just commit to that just yet. But these pieces will be inside the 21s gallery as opposed to the AI. And they're going to be like Maria's traits on our pieces. And I think that the first piece we came up with on the female form is super incredible. Looks amazing. And so what I really want to do is see if I can get another piece done that is the male version and sort of match them up, kind of like we did the Wolverine piece and the X-23 piece. So that's kind of the tentative plan. But yeah, I'm stoked to get these last 3 pieces out and then get our rewards out to these guys who are collecting, because I really want to get, like I said, more high quality art in the hands of high quality holders.
It's funny when you just said um into the AI. It's Robert, actually, who's a boss holder of us, who was coming at me and asking about like what are we doing with the AI thing. And I felt like it was kind of misleading because the term is usually used for artificial intelligence. So he was kind of like confused about what we were talking about, like when we said AI all the time. Um, but I feel like we still shouldn't change it. Like he should just step into the Discord more often and check everything. Um, and what I wanted to add is that I feel like people who are interested in the work of Maria, that the drops that we just had, they should definitely check out the last space. I haven't uploaded it yet, but what I will do together with the podcast episode. Maria talked a lot about the pieces. She talked a lot about her work, and yeah, getting these insights from an artist is always great. Maybe you can like just add the staking information for people again.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned it today, actually in the Discord server. So for those of you guys holding the OG fellas, the staking has been set up and created. The challenge there, though, remember, is Solana's network is crazy busy right now. So when you go to stake, you're probably going to get tons and tons and tons of failed transactions. I mean, I posted a transaction just to make sure that it was possible, and make sure that I had the right hash list in place in the right inside the right area. So it is functional and it is working, but it took me like 10 tries to get one piece staked. And so that link is live inside the trusted link section of the Discord. If you guys want to jump in there and join us, just jump in there and look in the trusted links channel, and you'll see that there is OG staking now available and ready. And to that end, we're going to be having the next family of pieces dropped going into April, probably around the next halving of Bitcoin, which I think we're less than, geez, I think it's something like 400 blocks off. Let me just see here. I think it was less than 500 last night when I looked. So it's just around the corner. So we plan to, kind of celebrate that with another drop. Looks like, let's see, 835, 262. Yeah, so we're less than 5,000 blocks. I said 100, but I meant 1,000. Less than 5,000 blocks. So that's coming up really quick. And you're definitely going to want to have some powder dry for that, bosses especially. And if you're interested in minting those and you're not holding a boss, be sure to talk to one, because they can give you a referral code. Or myself or Alex, we can also get you referral codes. I should also mention, actually, since we didn't talk over the weekend, and we're giving away some information, some alpha, is that Bitcoin fees dropped to about, I think, 8 sats per VByte over the weekend. I don't know if you followed this or not, but I went ahead and I minted out the rest of the bosses. So there are no more bosses available to mint. They are 100% minted, and Alex and I will hold those in a treasury, and we'll make those available for sale. But there are no more mintable bosses. So there's a little alpha for you.
Today when I thought about the next batch mint and everything, I remembered that when did we have the first one? In June last year? I'm not sure about that, but I remember that Bitcoin was somewhere around like 20 bucks, not Bitcoin, Solana, somewhere around 20 bucks when we started. And then I checked the chart for like today, and it was like 10 times the price, and it's so crazy. I mean, um, let's see where this goes. And yeah, regarding the ordinals, it's great. I'm very happy that they are minted out. We just have to find a way to, like, there is that hidden one-on-one trade still, and I feel like it should like go out randomly somehow to some like lucky winner. um
Are you trying to say I
unless
can't keep
unless
it?
you want to.
Come on.
Yeah, just wanted to add that, unless you want to keep it for yourself, like in your little treasury, like just keeping the two ladies and the hidden trade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, of course,
yeah,
yeah,
we
for
just need
sure.
to figure out, because when I sold some pieces to people in the past, I usually let them choose between like 5 or 6 pieces.
Hmm.
Um, but with the one-on-one hidden trade that we have, we should definitely find a way to bring it to one lucky boss, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could really do like a really simple mint. We could just mint numbers. So whatever ordinals are in the treasury, we could just create NFTs that represent those inscription numbers, and then they could just mint one and whichever one they mint is that gets the number. It tells them which inscription they get. We could do something like that, and make it super fair and completely random.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the end, people are like getting the soul copies anyway, right? So maybe
Yep.
we can like even have the real Solana ones minted, and then the ones who like get the one on one going to get the Bitcoin one as well, something like that.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea because that would save us the trouble of having to do multiple mints on that. So yeah, we could definitely get those out. I mean, now that they're all minted, we can get the Solana copies rolling, drop those 100 pieces, and then the pieces that are in treasury, you and I can just decide, um, or I'm sorry, we can just put them in treasury, and then the pieces that are unowned, except for by treasury, could be the mint, like the boss mint for whatever on Solana, and then whichever one you get, you can get the ordinal associated with it. So yeah, that might be the way to go. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and when the day comes and every boss ordinal finds his like owner, his home,
Hmm.
I think we are like finishing the whole creation of whales and everything, and then when the have we dropped the name already, the Soul Rockers collection and the other one that we acquired
Hmm.
come out, like I think that's when it gets like really interesting, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think once we've given the boss, like, I mean, true. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to give the bosses the ability to become whales. Like that's the whole point of screening out people initially, to having this exclusionary process. But then, after that opportunity has passed, it's time to start opening up more to the public and to start doing maybe instead of doing mints of 100 or batches of 100, we do batches of 500 or batches of 1,000. And we have, let's say if we did 500, we'd have, five consigliaries, five underbosses, 25 capos, five one of ones, five hitmen, right? Like, and they would all go out, and maybe we partner with Magic Eden and do a public mint on Magic Eden or something like that. But at the end of the day, at least initially, until we probably get to around the 1,000 piece mark, the bosses, you guys are kings of the castle, so to speak. You get to kind of write your own ticket and decide what you want to create, and the opportunity is going to be there for you. And then we start opening it up, right, and really expanding the project into other areas.
Yeah, and that's that's why I was actually a little worried about the soul price, because imagine it going to $1,000, and then we'll probably have to go public with the point one soul price as well. So hope bosses won't feel disadvantaged. But yeah, let's see where it goes. Like I'm not sure if we can still take a soul or two if Solana goes to 4 digits.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to the value proposition, right? I mean, so if we're doing our job and we're creating value and we're building like what we've committed to do, which we have been doing pretty heavily, I might add, behind the scenes, then we should be able to convey that value. And rather than cheapening the value proposition for our existing holders, we need to really strengthen the sales proposition. And I think that's where a lot of projects really struggle, because we're talking about people who really don't have any experience in building organizations or businesses, and so if they can't sell something, they just give it away. And that's really probably the worst thing that you can do in terms of hurting your project. So I mean, the cool thing is we're doing things differently, so we don't have to rush into any decisions or rush through any mints or rush through this or that or the other thing. We just have to be smart about what we're doing and patient, and then let the market unfold. Because I mean, ultimately, the project that we're building is dependent on acquiring pieces and building a marketplace, not necessarily on acquiring holders who just want to flip the artwork for the next thing. So we have some options there, and I guess we're kind of having a meeting here on the podcast, but we can certainly talk through it and see, like see what the best options are going to be.
Yeah, we let people be close at what we do, like close to the process of making decisions here. And yeah, I think we are through all the topics for today. It was a cool, fun little talk. Concluding, people like stay away from meme coins. It's probably like the biggest message for today, the biggest learning especially. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the mint on Wednesday. It's piece number 5, I think. So they are
Hmm.
just like two more from the regular collection. Then there is one more surprise, and then there seems to be an additional surprise that Jason haven't even talked to me about. So yeah,
Maybe,
that's
maybe.
definitely maybe, yeah. We
Yeah.
It's not 100% yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, great looking. A lot of things to look forward to, and yeah. What else do we have? Do you have some final words for the people?
Just final words on the meme coin thing and the project thing is, I'll just say this. And again, my opinion is biased based on my past experience, not necessarily what I want to see someone do, but based on past experience. Like when you guys are in the market and you're looking at meme coins or you're looking at a project, like just think about what are the future prospects. Like if you're investing money that you can't afford to lose, what are the future prospects? Like you really need to understand that, and you really need to know, and you really need to understand the business model. And you can't really be doing business with people who are anonymous because they can't be held responsible. And so when it comes to this whole meme coin thing, you know, runes is the generic name for like meme coins on Bitcoin. The rune stone drop that we mentioned is a different thing. It's not runes. It's a usage of that platform. And so, one of the things that separates the sort of runestone drops or runestone style meme coins from like a Solana meme coin is that these tokens can be tied to the underlying satoshis that make up a Bitcoin. So, if you're holding, I don't know, 1,000, runestone tokens or what have you, you might actually be holding 1,000 satoshis. So what is that actually worth at the end of the day is the question you want to ask yourself. It's not the same. It's not a one for one. So when you're doing your research, just understand that if you're buying something that is based in runes, it might and possibly is and probably is tied to an underlying Satoshi. And if it's one for one, all you're really buying is a Satoshi. So just think about that before you start spending money on rune stones or crappy little meme coins. That would be my closing advice there.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? I just read a conversation about from two guys, and one guy was actually telling people like stay away from meme coins. They're going to zero. You're most likely going to lose money and everything. And then there was that other guy coming up, and he was like, "Hey, I made like 100K from meme coins, and as long as they earn profits and as long as they make money and everything, they feel like their opinion is the right one because hey, I made money, so what's wrong about that? You're trying to make money, I'm trying to make money, I trade meme coins, I make more money than you. So what's the conclusion here? You know? And yeah, that's like they don't see that most of the people probably lose money.
Yeah, for sure. I caught the last part of that. I think your microphone cut out for like 10 seconds and then it came back on in like this accelerated speed. And then so maybe just say that one more time and then we'll close it out.
Oh man, you missed the best part. No, I, I just said that there was a conversation between two guys, and like one guy who actually made money from meme coins was like, "Why do you try to tell me that this is wrong? Because in the end, you and I we try to make money. I trade meme coins. I make more money than you do. So in the end, I must be right. That's a conclusion. So yeah, that's the problem because these people do not see that most of the people who trade meme coins lose money, but as long as you make money you feel like your attitude and what you do is right.
Yeah, well, maybe you know what? I think we should dive into this in the next session because being able to make money is a function of your quality of work. and your value proposition. It has nothing to do with the activity itself. There are plenty of broke ass people who trade stocks, just like there's plenty of rich people who trade stocks. Same thing with meme coins and crypto and real estate and every other asset class. So the fact that you're involved in the activity does not guarantee you a result. The fact that you are good at what you're doing is what gives you a potential guarantee at the result. So that's probably a conversation that we can have because we could dive into all the psychology around it. That's really interesting. But yeah, I mean, just doing the thing doesn't guarantee you a positive result.
Totally agree, man. Let's save that for the next time. And yeah, thank you for everyone who listened to us to this episode. Looking forward to Spaces on Friday, to the Mint on Wednesday, and see you guys on the next episode.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Talk soon.